The IATA says Asia-Pacific carriers will be particularly affected by COVID-19 because they depend highly on the Chinese market. But Africa's aviation industry could still lose about $40 million by the end of the year 2020.
We have a public health emergency, ladies and gentlemen, and we must try to keep it from becoming an economic crisis. If we deal with the public health emergency and we are able to solve it, we would be successful in keeping the global economy going. If we fail to contain coronavirus, then we are going to have coronavirus cause us to slip into an economic depression, which will take much longer and much more pain to be able to get out of it.
The IATA says the previous estimate that the airline industry would grow by 4.7% this year will not be achieved because fewer people are traveling because of COVID-19. Here in Ethiopia, the UN Economic Commission for Africa and the African Union are postponing some of the meetings that were scheduled for March until further notice. Countries within the continent are discouraging their nationals from traveling to China and other affected countries in the world. All these are having direct impact in reducing business for the airline industry. 8 out of 9 airlines in Africa have suspended their direct flights to China. But Ethiopia's national carrier, Ethiopian Airlines, is determined to continue.
Flying direct to China doesn't mean that we are going to import corona, because rather passengers from China can travel to Ethiopia and Africa through various other hubs, and that's what interconnected world today means. The Nigeria, I understand that there was one case in Nigeria, but Nigeria doesn't have a direct flight to China. So how else did it get it? So the question is, as per the directive of WHO and others, stopping flight is not the answer. I think it's not the recommended answer. So that was our major reasoning.
The airline has at least 6 direct flights to China daily, and its chief executive says there are better ways to prevent the spread of coronavirus.
Isolating China because it has a temporary problem, I think it's not fair and ethical. And okay, European carriers stop flying to China, Alan. You and I know that they stopped flight to China. But Chinese carriers were flying to Europe. Yep. So what does it mean? It's a paradox. So if the whole purpose of stopping the flight is to prevent corona coming to European cities, then the Chinese carriers were flying, still flying. So what is the purpose of stopping those flights? Let's find out.
It is not all bad news for the industry, though. Aviation investors here say lower oil prices should allow airlines to buy cheaper fuel as a result of the crisis. Coletta Wanjohi for the SABC News in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.